the WWE release situation get worse?
But I see right through you, Tommaso Ciampa.
We just saw 3 veterans from the WWE tweet out that their contracts are expiring and WWE is not renewing them. R-Truth being the biggest name out of all of them, something that we didn't think we'd see. You know, WWE over the years, they've proven that they take care of their vets, and just people that have been with the company for a long time, they seem to stay around even if they're not doing much on TV or wrestling. They just seem to have them under contract and take care of them. And one person that comes to mind when I think of that is Tamina. She's someone who's still under the WWE umbrella, still has a contract, but we really haven't seen her on TV in God knows how long. So it's one of those situations where we thought we would see that with R-Truth. Unfortunately not. Carlito, who recently returned to WWE a couple of years ago, he tweeted out as well that his contract will not be getting renewed. And another one that honestly didn't catch me by surprise as much was Valhalla. I do feel bad because you hate to see people losing their jobs, but honestly, it didn't surprise me as much because we haven't seen her on TV, and she's not someone who has been with the company a long time, such as R-Truth and Carlito, who is a returning veteran who was with the company for a good couple of years before he left the first time. So again, this is all interesting at how it's unraveling. WWE and TKO brag about how much profits they are making all of the time, doesn't matter what show you go to. I just think that, man, this is wild time. Like, under Vince McMahon, people have said that this would have never happened, and you know, Vince McMahon seems to take care of people that have been there for a while, but I also think this is a business, right? As much as we hate to see it as fans, and as much as it doesn't make sense, because R-Truth, I can't really speak for Carlito or Valhalla, but R-Truth, that's someone who is obviously still over with the crowd. I was at Saturday Night Main Event. People went absolutely crazy for him.
From Charlotte, North Carolina.
In those comedic backstage areas, you could have just done different things, but instead you choose not to renew his contract. But there was a report where he was absolutely lowballed, and that's what the report says, where he was offered some sort of contract, but it wasn't good. And honestly, I believe it, man. It seems like TKO is all about the profits. They don't want to overpay for talent. They instead want to underpay talent, and that's what it has been. If AEW wasn't around right now, they'd be absolutely having a ball. We might be seeing people get paid UFC type numbers, because man, if you go and look at those UFC fights and how much they get paid, it's ridiculous for what they do. Their bodies are on the line and they are not getting paid very high at all. That's why that brother Alex Pereira got to fight 6-7 times a year.
3 times filtered, New Amsterdam is in your...
I mean, that's just the crazy part about it. But again, nonetheless, this sucks. I definitely think that this isn't good, and honestly, it's not a good sign for the product. Me personally, man, I have not been enjoying the product as much as I did maybe a year ago. It just feels just lackluster. It feels like the product just doesn't mean anything right now. And you know, these releases on top of everything that has happened, it definitely scares you a little bit away. But just to look from the positive side, right? Just to be optimistic, what does this mean for other talent? Because we obviously know WWE now has a feeder with NXT. They also have a feeder with TNA, because the people from TNA, Joe Hendry's already said to be a lock once his contract is over. So what could this actually mean for those talent, right? Because you got to release these veterans, you know, to make space, which I understand that part of it. I'm all for pushing new talent, especially as talent is getting older. Like, you look at a Seth Rollins, who's currently about 37, 38 years old. Roman Reigns is about 40. Cody is already in his late 30s. So you are having your best talent, the guys that headline your WrestleManias, they're on their way out soon in, you know, a couple of years. I'm not saying now, but in a couple of years. So releasing these talents that are not doing much for you at the moment and putting new talent in those spots could hypothetically make sense. And I think that that's something that we are missing, and that's why NXT talent is often not given a chance, because you have wrestlers that are older, you know, taking up some of those roster spots, which honestly some of them, you know, shouldn't be. You have all this NXT talent that I think is bright. I felt bad for Dijak. That was one of the guys that unfortunately had to go due to WWE making their decision, but that's just one casualty out of the many that I have pointed out. NXT talent, a lot of the time when they go up to the main roster, it's just not a good look for them because it feels like WWE a lot of the time doesn't have a plan. Braun Breaker, Tiffany Stratton, those are two names that have been able to make a lot of things happen on their time during the main roster. I mean, Tiffany Stratton is already, to me, a household WWE name. She is women's champion. Braun Breaker is also a former Intercontinental Champion. So these are guys and women that have made a name for themselves on the main roster already. But just to even talk about even some releases that could happen that could make this situation worse, Nakamura comes to my head right away. It just feels like he's not around as much. He won the United States Championship, you know, for some showcasing and things like that, but nothing really happened with that. It was a really bad reign to the point where LA Knight got the title back. The Miz is someone else that I could potentially see not being around anymore. And not that he needs the WWE at this point in his career. He has all the hosting stuff that he does. He's really, really good at all this stuff. And we know that he's very talented on TV outside of just wrestling. So it could be something that we potentially see in the future, you know, with the Miz, Nakamura, and some other wrestlers. Omos is another wrestler that comes to mind as well. And obviously you don't wish for any of these guys to lose their jobs, but when it comes down to, you know, the value and probably what they're paying them compared to what they pay in NXT talent to bring them up, I don't know. I mean, I just feel like they probably are going to make that decision at some point, obviously for profit and, you know, to start cutting down on the roster. Again, it is a little bit scary, especially me. You guys know that we primarily cover WWE games. I personally can't imagine a game without R-Truth in it. Or the Miz. Even though I don't use him as much, it's gonna be weird not seeing R-Truth on the roster. Carlito just came back into the game. We might not see him again after this year based on the fact that his contract is not being renewed. Now, WWE could go on ahead and throw a curveball because of all the backlash that they've gotten and just sign them to Legends contracts. And honestly, I would love to see R-Truth in the WWE Hall of Fame. I feel like it is deserved for someone like him. I mean, he's been with the company for a long, long time, has given us a lot of memorable moments. And yeah, man, it's just absolutely unfortunate that we're just going to continue seeing this.
Sugar's going right back in. Referee trying to get some sense of order. Two men are fighting.
Me personally, I don't think this is the end for all of these releases. This is something that's going to continue happening. And I think as fans, we just have to buckle down and see what's going to happen, because this is not going to end here. Again, for the fourth time this video, TKO has proven that they're all about the profits and they don't really care about what's going on storyline wise or any of that. It just feels like they just don't care, and that's my problem.